Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Monday. Hey, beautiful. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. It is creepy and spooky Halloween. Coming up today, we've got David Young. We're going to be talking about soul music. That's on the program here. So David Young with soul music on Halloween. It's kind of interesting music, too. So it's kind of Halloween kind of music. Also, take a listen to this. People who sleep late have more mental stamina and can outperform early risers. You sleep later than me, so that's probably why you're smarter than me. Do you think?
I don't sleep later than you anymore.
Oh, yeah, you do. The worst thing that you can eat is any food loaded with saturated fat, or in other words, anything probably good, I suppose. Even occasional treats like this are enough to diminish your body's ability to defend itself against heart disease, according to research from the University of Sydney in Australia. So there you go. Saying if you like good stuff, it's probably not good for you. Coming up, we got some special stuff besides Halloween going on today. We'll tell you about that in a bit.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day. Today is Monday, the 31st day of October, in addition to being Halloween. Tonight is Beggar's Night. It is Books for Treats Day. It is Day of the 7 Billion, Girl Scout Founders Day, of course Halloween, which we already mentioned, but it's also National Caramel Apple Day, National Knock Knock Jokes Day. I don't know if this is a good day for that. Don't do that. Don't knock on doors and run away. That's a bad idea. National Magic Day, National UNICEF Day. It is also World Cities Day. So we got all that stuff going on. And did we mention it's Halloween? I think we mentioned that, didn't we?
We did.
We did. So that's what's going on. All of that on this Monday, the 31st day of October.
John and Heidi.
Legally, we gotta have insurance. That's why getting the very best rate is paramount. I'm Jared Parsons. I founded the first national and virtual insurance agency. Until now, you were limited to the agents in your area. But what if the rates are better somewhere else? At Parsons, we shop around and we get you the best rate. It's that simple. Go to radioinsuranceguy.com. That's radioinsuranceguy.com.
John and Heidi.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. What did you learn at school today? You ever ask your kids that?
All the time.
And what do they usually say?
Nothing.
Yeah, at least that's what our kids say. Do your kids actually learn something? Aaron Lawton, age 11, said he thought his teacher was just kidding when he told him, if you miss an assignment, the whole class gets to deck you. But then, a month later, when the Franklin Township, New Jersey 6th grader was late on a homework assignment, guess what? Math teacher Maxie Rivers allegedly lined up the students and had them take turns hitting him. Quote, some of the punches were really hard, some were soft, and some were in between, end quote. That's what the young boy said. Rivers' attorney said the beating was, quote, lighthearted, and the kids only tapped him kiddingly. But a doctor found multiple bruises. Hillcrest school officials suspended the teacher with pay while they investigate this incident.
With pay, so they get a vacation.
You get a vacation.
I'm telling you right now, the would hit the fan.
You can't say that on the radio.
If that happened to my child.
Yeah, it would be bad. That would be really bad.
I would come completely unglued.
Yeah.
There's no way that would be acceptable.
No,
ever.
It's not. You don't have the kids line up
and humiliate that child in front of the whole class. That's awful.
It's a bad idea. If you're a teacher, you should be a little more. You would think that you'd be a little smarter than that.
You should respect the feelings of that student.
And I'm not saying that, it's got to be like, you got to coddle people and all of that.
No, don't coddle them. Obviously, they should be in trouble. They should get docked by their grade. They should get
I think
detention, maybe. I mean, that would be different.
His homework assignment was late. So what happened when I was a kid, if my homework assignment was late, then you'd lose points for that. But they certainly didn't line up the whole school and have them hit me.
No.
If they did, I might not have lived to be this old. So there you go. I was late on assignments a lot. All right. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. And this thing happened in New Jersey. You know it's true because you heard it on the radio.
John and Heidi.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain. And this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again,
844-204-1055.
and this is your brain on drugs. A West Virginia man once again confirmed that criminals are their own worst enemies. The man was arrested for stealing some stereo equipment, and he said he was innocent, but he pled not guilty, Judge. I honestly didn't steal that. He gave it to me because he owed me money for drugs.
Isn't that great?
The good news for the man is he was not arrested for stealing the equipment. Bad news for him is, well, he's in trouble now for drug possession. He actually had drugs on him at court. What an idiot. That is not good. That is not good at all. Don't do that.
There are just no words for some people.
No, I don't understand. Did he really think that was going to be a better sentence than stealing the stereo equipment stuff? I don't know. Coming up, and I'm not saying that he should have stole that. You shouldn't even break the law, but anyway, coming up, we're going to get your moment of duh and then your scoop of the day, and then we got a special guest on the way. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh. A judge has ordered a suburban Chicago woman to stay away from her fiancé for 2 weeks. 2 weeks before the wedding, too. Johnson County Judge Stephen Gerard ordered 23-year-old Ruka Patel not to have contact with a man after she was charged with domestic abuse and causing injury. Her fiance's name was not released in the story. Police say Patel drove over the man's foot and then bit his hand when he took away her keys to prevent her from driving.
Well, then.
It was not known why he tried to stop Patel. Patel told the judge the marriage was scheduled in 2 weeks. So the judge said, okay, well, you can't see him then for 2 weeks. You think that marriage is going to go well?
Probably not.
This guy had to call the police on her before they even got married. I wonder if they're even going to go through with the wedding. I mean, would you?
They probably will.
That's kind of crazy. So there you go. That happened again.
Worse stuff than that happened before my first marriage.
Yeah.
And I still went through with it.
That's not good.
So but women are stubborn and they don't want to have to admit they were wrong. And
not just women. Men are stubborn,
kind of what it
too.
boils down to.
Coming up, we've got your scoop of the day. That is on the way.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now your scoop of the day. 5-year-old soccer fan apologized to club after missing a match. A 5-year-old in Scotland worried that his favorite soccer players might have missed him at a game, so little Louis Callies called a team to apologize for missing the game because he attended a friend's birthday party. How adorable is that?
Oh, he was just a viewer, like
He's
a
just a kid.
spectator.
He always
how
goes.
sweet
He's
is
5,
that?
and he didn't make it to the game.
That's
So
adorable.
he thought maybe I should reach out and let you guys know, hey, I'm sorry I wasn't there. They probably didn't even notice that he wasn't there, but it was neat that he called. A burglar in Canada rappelled into a sporting goods store to steal hundreds of hockey sticks worth more than $100,000.
Yeah.
So he did the really sportsy thing of rappelling in to do it.
Like the Great Muppet Caper.
Yeah. Surveillance
That's
footage
pretty cool.
shows the thief dropping into the store using a rope before heading directly for the expensive hockey gear. That was in Canada. So does it surprise you they stole hockey gear? A man's letter to a Rhode Island newspaper complaining about women wearing yoga pants outside the exercise studio resulted in women holding a protest march where he lived. So they decided
This is so ridiculous.
They decided to wear yoga pants and go hang out in his neighborhood. So there you go. I think that is kind of funny. Hey, this is kind of funny here as well. Gerald Doherty is running for re-election in the Travis County Commission in Texas. In a campaign ad, his wife, Charlene, tells viewers, please re-elect Gerald.
Have you seen this ad?
Please. And the ad, I haven't.
This is the greatest ad ever.
The
I
ad-
will have to find it for you because
No,
it's
I've got a
so
link
funny.
to it. It's on our Facebook page. I honestly did not have a chance to
It
look
really
at
is
it,
funny.
though.
This would be what I would be saying if you were running for office.
The ad shows her husband boring her and their
Yeah.
house guests with facts and figures related to prisons and light rail and more. And then the wife says, all he wants to do is fix things. And then she suggests to Texans to reelect her husband. So
It's
I've been
a
told
really great
that it's
ad.
adorable. I've not
Yeah.
seen it. I have a link to it on our Facebook page, and I apologize. I put the link there, and I haven't had a chance to watch the video, but I will. I'll check it out. And that's at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Hey, when your dog's day is over, does it dream of you? A sleep expert at Harvard Medical School thinks they know what your dog is dreaming about, and it's probably you.
Well, there's not much else for them to dream about. Their life pretty much revolves around you.
Dr. Deidre Barrett spent years studying sleep behavior in humans. Based on her work with people, she says dogs likely dream about their everyday experiences like we do, which means when your dog's day is over, they're most likely laying there dreaming of you.
Aw, how cute is that?
Yeah, I think
that explains why our dogs growl so much while they're sleeping.
That's when they're dreaming about me. The other day, it was funny because we have 2 dogs, and they can't make up their dang mind if they want to be inside or outside lately.
Well, because it's so beautiful, but it
so
doesn't look beautiful from the
And then they
inside.
go out, and then they come in, and then they're out, and they're in, then they're out, then they're in. Like, we put them out, and then they're whining, they want in, then they're in, they're whining, they want to go out. I'm like, would you make up your mind?
Yeah.
Do you want to be in or do you want to be out? Anyway, a human tree was spotted blocking traffic at a Portland, Maine intersection Monday afternoon. It was a man dressed convincingly as a tree.
Oh, my goodness.
He was moved out of a crosswalk by police, and there is video of this if you'd like to see that. Also at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Latest research shows that lying becomes easier with each lie because your brain is physically adapted to lying. That's why some people who have been lying for years are so darn good at it.
Yeah.
And some of them are running for office right now.
Yeah.
We're not going to say any names because it's all of them. Hey, this is really interesting here. A newly discovered creature has 414 legs.
What?
It's a millipede.
Oh, wow.
With 414 legs. Also has 200 poisonous glands and 4 penises. It's a bizarre, thread-like creature that's been found lurking in the dark, underground in caves in California's famous Sequoia National Park. The creature's 200 glands squirt a defensive poisonous chemical at predators. If you want to see more, I've got a link to that on our Facebook page as well. See, this is why I haven't had time to look at these videos.
Thank you.
I haven't had time to look at the videos because I'm posting too much stuff. If you've got
that's
time,
called
check it all out.
The greatest optimism right there, that something that looks like that
Yeah.
could possibly think it would need 4 penises.
414
I'm not going to be able to
legs.
beat the ladies off. I'm going to need more than one.
Can you give me 2 more? Heck, while you're at it. All right, this has been your Scoop of the Day.
John and Heidi.
Election day is almost here. No matter which side you're rooting for, you now have a place to get informed and to truly voice your opinion at PoliticalStorm.com. An amazing resource with information from people on both sides of the aisle, all in one place. Watch videos, read blogs, listen to podcasts like mine, and read fun editorials. You can also contribute with your own blog for free. Be a part of the community at PoliticalStorm.com. You have a choice, and now you have a voice too at PoliticalStorm.com. That's PoliticalStorm.com.
John and Heidi.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on Halloween. Today's kind of one of those spooky days where you talk about spooky things and spiritual things. Well, we're going to be visiting with a guy that's not spooky at all. As a matter of fact, this I think is really cool. David Young is a twice Grammy-nominated transformational musician who plays 2 Renaissance flutes at one time in harmony, and it's very heavenly-sounding music. He's recorded 59 albums and sold over 1 million copies of his instrumental music, and he's a healer, a channel, an author, and also has a bunch of books out and fine art. He's got what people refer to as the most heavenly healing music on the planet, and he's been doing some really cool events, and we're going to chat with him right now. Mr. Young, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Nice to talk to you, John.
Well, I'm excited to visit with you because you've got some fun stuff that you've been doing. You do this Soul Ascension Meditation Workshop, and you kind of go all around the country doing these. First of all, how many of these have you done so far? Quite a few?
As of last night, it was 202 that I've done in the last year and a half.
Wow, 202. So that's a lot of shows, and you're traveling all over the place. What was the inspiration to start this particular chapter in your life?
Well, when I started this, I'd already sold over 1 million CDs, and, I had done like 25 years of work in my career. And one of my friends asked me to do a meditation workshop at his house without any talking, really. Because I'd written a couple of books. I had, different amazing stories from my life that are all in my books. But he asked me to do a meditation that I would do 2 30-minute meditations, and then the people in the audience or at the event would have a chance to share their experiences afterwards. So I said, fine. It sounded like a nice thing to do. And so after the first meditation was over, I asked if anybody had any experiences that they wanted to share, like an inner experience while they were meditating with their eyes closed. And 5 people shared that either their favorite grandmother or their mom or their grandfather or somebody they loved, who is now in heaven, 5 people shared that they were visited by their loved ones, and they had a complete conversation. They shared the conversation, and their loved ones looked very happy, and sometimes they took them on like a little journey where they introduced them back with some of the other relatives, some relatives they may have never met, or some relatives that they knew who are now in heaven also.
That is awesome. And looking through the info, in addition to people having conversations with lost loved ones, there's also been people who've had experiences where they've, after this meditation, have talked to Archangel Michael, Gandhi, Moses, even Mary, the mother of Jesus. And, I'm reading through this. Martin Luther King is another one. So that's really kind of cool when they come to these events and get to, be in this meditative state. And sounds like it's a absolutely fascinating process.
It's been a fascinating process for me to witness because I didn't know that all this stuff was possible. And after about 6 months, 500 people had experienced their loved ones. And then at this event, 3 people all saw Jesus standing in the same spot in the room. And that was really a mind blower to think that you could have interaction with somebody like him,
Yeah.
And it was, it's really changed my whole perspective of life and what happens after life, because if these people, whether they're ascended masters or whether they're the loved ones of the people in the audience, if they can interact with us in this way, it also proves that we live on after this lifetime finishes. That it's like one chapter of our life, like this physical chapter, ends, but we start a whole nother chapter in the heavenly dimension.
Again, visiting right now with David Young, and we're talking about this really interesting event that they do around the country. It goes from place to place and does this. And I'm reading, it says transformational double flute musician. Now, what is a transformational double flute musician? What does that mean?
Well, I have a special button on my flute that I hit that makes everything transformational. Well, I'm just kidding.
I love your sense of humor, at least. That's good.
Yeah, wouldn't it be great if it was that simple?
That would be cool. You got to get this special flute with this button on it.
Yeah, for only $9.95, you too can have a transformational double flute. Well, now you get a third flute for free. The music that I do is transformational because it changes people. When they have these experiences, if they've never had an experience like that before, it changes the way they look at life. So it transforms people. But I played 2 Renaissance flutes at one time in harmony.
Wow.
Everybody in the 3rd or 4th grade starts to play the recorder. It's a Renaissance flute. They come in all different sizes, like saxophones come in all different sizes. So I played 2 of these at one time in harmony, and it creates this incredibly ethereal, beautiful, heavenly sound. And after this year and a half of me doing these events, I've actually come up with a way of describing why it has this transformational effect.
Why is that?
People. And well, for example, if you were listening with headphones on and your eyes closed and you had ocean waves playing on the headphones, after a while, because your mind connects the sound of the ocean with what the ocean looks like, because when you experience the ocean, you see what it looks like and you hear what it sounds like at the same time. So when you listen to headphones, with your eyes closed with ocean waves on, your mind naturally starts to eventually see the ocean waves in your mind.
Yeah.
Now, there are so many thousands of people who have had near-death experiences who have described that when they were in heaven in their near-death experience, that the music they heard sounded very similar to the music that I create with the 2 flutes. And so when people have their eyes closed and they're meditating, and they're listening to me play this heavenly music, it naturally connects them to have visions of heaven and takes them to heaven in a way. Because, the sound of the music reminds them of heaven. And basically, heaven has a different set of rules than life on earth has.
Yeah.
We have certain logic that we need in this physical world to use, but that logic is not needed or necessary or even part of reality in the other dimension, the heavenly dimension. So, actually last month I played at the International Association of Near-Death Studies at their national convention, right?
Wow.
And one of the things I found out was that over the last 30 years since this organization started, over 20 million Americans have had near-death experiences that were documented by their nurse or doctor in the hospital. Okay?
Wow.
Now, so many of these people, when they had their near-death experience, like, for example, if they were having a car accident, before the impact of the other car, they were disconnected from their physical body and looking down on the whole situation, just like they were watching a movie. And so when the other car hit their car, they felt no pain. There was no trauma of impact. It was just they were looking down, watching this movie, and then they felt this feeling to start flying. And they end up flying down this tunnel at a very high speed, and there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And the closer they get to the light, the more euphoric this feeling is, and the feeling of incredible universal love just increased and magnified the closer they got to this light. And when they got to the light at the end of the tunnel and they realized they were in heaven, the first thing that many people thought was, wow, if I'm in heaven, I wonder if I'm going to see my mom or my grandmother. And instantly, their mother or their grandmother walked up.
Wow.
Or they might have thought, wow, if I'm in heaven right now, I wonder if I'm going to see Mother Mary or if I'm going to see Buddha. And instantly, Mother Mary or Buddha walked up. And the reason why that happens like that is because heaven has a different set of rules. And literally, whatever you think while you're in that heavenly realm manifests instantly because they don't have time, they don't have space. And that's the way the heavenly dimension works. If you have a thought in this physical world, like let's say you want to go to your car and get a pen, okay? Well, you have the thought, you walk through this space to get to your car, and as you're walking through this space, it takes time, right? Because you're walking, it takes time to get to your car.
Yeah.
But you see, in heaven, because there is no time and there's no space, if you have this thought, oh, I want to get to my car and get a pen, instantly, in the blink of an eye, you're in your car and the pen is in your hand because there's no time and space. So everything happens instantly. And that's why when people are having a near-death experience or lucid dreaming, and lucid dreaming is when somebody is asleep and they wake up as their soul in the inner worlds, but they know that their physical body is asleep, but they know that they're this separate thing, their soul. It might seem like it's your mind, but it's actually not your mind, it's your soul. And it's this, when people are dreaming, they're having the same experiences as people who are having a near-death experience, because that's what happens when we close our eyes and go to sleep, or when we have a near-death experience. We're literally going to the heavenly world to experience life there. And when we're kids, when we're 2 years old and 4 years old, it's easy for us to do this. You know why it's easy for us to do this?
Why is that?
Because nobody has convinced us we can't.
Huh.
That's our natural state.
So what does the music sound like? Is there a way that we can take a listen somehow and hear what this music sounds like?
Yeah, for $9.95. No, I'm just kidding. You can go to my website, which is David Young Music, and click on the meditation category of my music. Because I have different styles of music. You know, I have some Christmas albums that I made years ago. I have different, you know, I'm a singer. I have about 10 albums of my singing. But what I'm mostly known for is my flute music. That's the meditation music. So click on the meditation category. And
I'm on there right now. Is there one that's the best one for an example so I can let folks hear? I see like Heaven's Energy. Is that a good?
What I would recommend for meditation, once you click on creation, it starts with a C.
Ah, there we are. All right, so there's the music in the background there. Very cool. So that's the two flute, the two.
Well, that's actually the bass flute. It's a deeper flute. I'm only playing one at this specific part of the song, but you know, as the song progresses, I'll play two.
And I won't play too much of it on the radio because I don't want people to. I saw it listed right on the website. Don't play this while you're driving, because that does seem very relaxing, and I could see somebody, very easily kind of dozing off, and that would not be good if you're driving down the road.
That's what I tell people also. It's good to stay awake when you're driving.
It is a good idea, yes. Well, that music is absolutely beautiful.
If you play 15 or 20 seconds of that, that's enough.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'll do. Well, that's absolutely beautiful. And this music is, again, something that's a little unique and something that's a little different. And it's been having some really cool impacts with people who are coming to your live events. Now, there have been over 4,000 people that have had a chance to experience those live events. If maybe somebody listening is saying, I'd like to go to one of those, how do they find out where you're going to be and when you're going to be, hopefully, in their neighborhood?
Well, if you go to my website, on the right side of the website is my calendar with all the cities. But the thing with the 4,000 people, those are 4,000 people who have actually shared an experience. So there's over 3,000 people who reconnected with their loved ones. And at this point, over 1,200 people who have connected with one of the Ascended Masters. And as of yesterday, 695 people have had experiences with Mother Mary or Jesus, just those two, or Mary Magdalene. Okay,
wow.
So there's another 500 and something people who have had experiences with Buddha or Moses or Krishna or one of the other Ascended Masters. And in this physical world, all the religions are separated. You're either in this one or that one. But in the heavenly world, all of the Ascended Masters, they're all friends.
Yeah.
They all work together. They respect each other. And, there are times that one person will have an experience with Buddha and Jesus at the same time, and they don't, it really, on a soul level, it really doesn't matter what religion you are practicing physically, because, there are so many times that Mother Mary or Jesus appeared to people who are Jewish, and, sometimes people have this very peculiar look on their face after the meditation, and when I see that peculiar look, I know exactly what's happened, because it's like they're thinking, well, why did they show up to me? But if you think about it, Jesus was Jewish, and if he's Jewish, his mother has to be Jewish, because, whatever your mom is, that's what religion you grow up with,
Yeah.
So it would make sense that there's no limitations in that way, and there's Christian people who have experiences with Buddha or Lao Tzu. There's no rules about those things. The separation rules are only these things that we use on earth, because heaven has a different set of rules. Everything is connected. Whatever you think about or put your attention on when you're in that heavenly state, whether it's in a near-death experience, a meditation, or an lucid dreaming experience, whatever you think about, if you think about a certain thing and you have that visual picture in your mind that you can see it, well, that visual picture in your mind is what reality turns into when we're in that heavenly state, because whatever we think of manifests instantly. I mean, they put 7,000 people who have had near-death experiences under hypnosis, complete hypnosis. They were totally out. And all 7,000 people all described experiencing heaven in exactly the same way.
Wow. That's really cool. Again, our guest today has been David Young, a twice Grammy-nominated transformational musician, and I can see from listening why people say that your music is the most heavenly healing music on the planet. I agree completely. It is beautiful. I appreciate you taking some time to chat with us today, and folks, if you'd like to know more, I'm going to give you his website as well, DavidYoungMusic.com. Mr. Young, thank you again, sir.
Oh, it's been a pleasure. Have a great day, you guys.
Again, our guest today has been David Young. He is a Grammy-nominated transformational musician, and we've been talking about his Soul Ascension meditation workshops. And I thought, what better thing to talk about on Halloween, because today's kind of that, spirit night and all of that stuff. So interesting thing right there. If you'd like to know more, I'll give you his website. It's DavidYoungMusic.com. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on Halloween.
John and Heidi.
Are you ready for Duel? Kyle Dowling on guitar, Brett Gunderson on bass, Sam DeVito on drums, and frontman Duel Shape.
Gotta keep rocking, gotta keep sucking, bringing it down like rain.
Duel's new single just hit iTunes and it's selling fast. Get your copy now.
You're not contained, then you feel no pain. Supernova gonna get you too.
Their first single, Supernova, is available now for less than $1. Learn more and find a direct link to buy Supernova at facebook.com/dualrocks.
John and Heidi.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Per capita, the Irish eat more of this than Americans. What do you think it is?
The Irish?
Potatoes? No, it's chocolate. Yeah, Irish eat more chocolate than Americans. They also eat more than the Swedes and the Danish and the French or Italians. They eat a lot of chocolate there in Ireland. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The blue whale is the largest animal that ever lived, reaching 100 feet long and weighing more than 150 tons. The largest dinosaur was only 110 tons. So there you go. Estimated, because they've never had a scale to have that dinosaur stand on. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
There are approximately 10 million bricks in the Empire State Building.
Really?
Yeah, it's a lot of bricks. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Light travels slower than the speed of light. You'd think that they'd be the same, but the lightning that we actually see goes from the ground to the sky in what is known as a return stroke at 1/3 the speed of light. We can't see the initial stepladder leader that passes from the sky to the ground at all because it's going too fast. So there you go. And a final fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Oh, that's not it. It's this one right here. Sorry. Actress Cheryl Ladd started her career as one of the Josies and the Pussycats.
Really?
She was the singing voice of character Melody in the 1970s cartoon.
I did not know that.
There you go. She's from my hometown, so I did know that. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Legally, we gotta have insurance. That's why getting the very best rate is paramount. I'm Jared Parsons. I founded the first national and virtual insurance agency. Until now, you were limited to the agents in your area. But what if the rates are better somewhere else? At Parsons, we shop around and we get you the best rate. It's that simple. Go to radioinsuranceguy.com. That's radioinsuranceguy.com.
John and Heidi.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on Halloween. Can you believe it's Halloween?
I can't.
How did this happen? That means tomorrow's November. I mean, I'm just not ready for this. Trick-or-treating safety. Some tips for tonight. Halloween is here. Whether you celebrate it or not, there's some safety tips and tricks for parents. And the Red Cross of America, the American Red Cross, offers these basic safety tips. Always walk on the sidewalk, never in the street, never in the grass, because you can trip on things in the grass. So stay on the sidewalk. Only cross the street at the corners. Don't cut across in the middle of the intersection or the middle of a block. Go to the corner. Don't hide behind or cross between parked cars. Also, wear light-colored or reflective type clothing to be more visible. Consider using reflective tape. Next, plan your trick-or-treat route and share it with your family so they know where the heck you're going. It's a very good idea. Have an adult escort you, kids. That's a very good plan.
That's the best idea.
Carry a flashlight. There you go. That's also good. Stay away from open flames and candles. Many costumes are very, very flammable. Only visit homes that are well lit. If all the lights are off, they're not going to answer and they're not going to give you candy. No matter what you read on the internet, the homes with all the lights off don't have the best candy. That's not how you find them. They don't have that. So, don't enter a stranger's home, ever. Accept the treats at the door outside. Do not go in their home ever, 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 ever. Next, use face paints for costumes instead of masks that cover up your face and make it hard to see. Be cautious of animals and strangers and dogs and cats and, things like that. You don't want to get hurt. And the last thing on here, before you eat any of your treats, make sure mom or dad take a look at all of them and don't eat anything that has been opened. So there you go. Some good trick or treating tips. That's not easy to say, is it?
No.
You say it once.
Some of those are really lame.
Trick or treating tips. There you go. Like, which one's lame?
Like the darker houses, don't go to those. A lot of those darker houses are dark because they're the scary ones. So they have the strobe lights and they're the ones that get all into Halloween. And when you come up to them, they'll invite you in to walk through a haunted house. It's like through their living room. So saying don't go into a dark house, you're missing out on the haunted house.
Would you stop it?
It's true.
These are anti-tips. Don't listen to Aunt Heidi. Aunt Heidi doesn't know what she's talking about.
The best houses.
No, they don't.
That's true.
Would you stop it? Stay out of the houses. Don't go in. And if they have
Unless you're with a group.
Get chainsaws.
Go in with a group. You don't ever go in alone. But
people with chainsaws and hatchets are like, oh, go
well,
in their
there'll
house.
most likely be chainsaws in there. That's
They
why
probably
they're
have the best candy.
They do because they're the most in Halloween.
Would you just stay out of this? Coming up, we're going to talk about how
That's
you can...
where the full-size Snickers are. I'm just saying.
Going to talk about how you can ruin your phone. That's on the way.
John and Heidi.
If you're a business owner or the person in charge of advertising, I have a special offer just for you. We're doing a jingle special this month. Did you know that when you put words to music, they're 9 times more memorable? How would you like to be the name in your industry and have people singing your song? We've worked with hundreds of small businesses to create their own musical image, and we want to help you too. Reach out right now and we'll give you $500 off. Squeeze it into this year's budget and get results for years to come. Learn more and hear examples at RadioReallyWorks.com. That's RadioReallyWorks.com. Your house is hungry for smartphones. Listen to this. Turns out 51% of us have had an accident that has ruined a cell phone inside our home. Top 5 danger zones for your phone. Where do you think they are? Which rooms, Heidi?
Bathroom.
Bathroom is on the list. How about another one? Kitchen is also on the list. What else?
Those would be the 2.
Okay, but there's 5. What are the other 5?
Living room.
Living room is on the list.
Bedroom.
Bedroom is on the list. We're missing one.
What else is there? Guest bedroom.
No, the driveway. So it's outside of the home.
That's not in the house.
Yes.
You cheater head.
So kitchen, living room, bathroom, driveway, and bedroom are the danger zones for your phones. I have ruined a phone in the garage. That's not on the list. But it was kind of like right by the driveway. It's because I had it in my
it was in
shirt
your pocket. You
pocket.
dumped it in a bucket of
and
water.
I was washing the car in the driveway. I leaned down to grab a sponge and bloop, right into the thing. I was like, that stinks. I ruined like 4 phones
I've
that
never
year.
destroyed a phone,
Yeah,
ever. I mean, mine has been cracked, but I've just lived with it.
That year, I ruined like 4 phones, and then I was very careful after that because I never get the insurance. All right, coming up here in a moment, we're going to talk about playing cops and robbers. It's on the way.
John and Heidi.
I don't know if I believe this story, Heidi.
What's that?
For 7 years, a man from Germany has fooled his wife into thinking he was a police officer. Meanwhile, he was really a railroad worker. A 38-year-old man left every morning wearing a full police officer's uniform, and then he would tell his wife about all the cases he worked on. 8 years ago, he was studying to be an officer. He spent long nights at home studying until he, supposedly became a police officer. Well, he was a train worker. He was not satisfied to have his wife and friends think that he was a police officer. He convinced the police in town that he was an officer from a different town, and he would accompany a patrol officer once in a while. His deception was only discovered when he was admitted to the hospital after developing a blood clot, and police are now considering charging him with impersonating an officer.
Oh, come on.
So he's actually a rail yard worker, but he would dress like a policeman.
He didn't want his wife to be disappointed with him.
For 8 years. So if I pretended to be...
It's not like he was out arresting people. He was leaving the house in a uniform and then changing his clothes and going
Heidi,
to work.
this is a bad time for me to tell you this, but I've been living a lie.
You're not really a radio announcer.
We're not even on the radio right now. So we're just talking. It's just the two of us.
Talking to ourselves.
Yeah. And every time I bleep you...
I would have to kill you.
Every time I bleep you, it's just for the heck of it.
There would just be no other way around it because of how much time outside of my regular day I spend doing these shows.
Okay, well,
you would be
the good
dead
news is you are alive
and
right
buried
now.
in the shallow ground beneath our basement.
All right, coming up, we've got something else. We're going to talk about cold and flu season. It's on the way.
John and Heidi.
Election day is almost here. No matter which side you're rooting for, you now have a place to get informed and to truly voice your opinion at PoliticalStorm.com. An amazing resource with information from people on both sides of the aisle, all in one place. Watch videos, read blogs, listen to podcasts like mine, and read fun editorials. You can also contribute with your own blog for free. Be a part of the community at PoliticalStorm.com. You have a choice, and now you have a voice too at PoliticalStorm.com. That's PoliticalStorm.com. Ladies and germs, cold and flu season is here. Take this quiz to see how germ-free you are. Do you use... Okay, you get points for this. So we're going to just do like 1 point up for when it's good and 1 down. So do you use public restrooms?
Yeah.
I guess that's a negative point.
Okay.
So do you wash your hands afterwards? You get a positive for that. You open the door with your bare hands. That's a negative. Yeah,
Yes.
I don't actually, so I get 2 positives.
What do you do?
I'll do this thing with my sleeve.
Oh, whatever.
I do, or even down here. So I got 2 points now.
You're such a spaz.
I am a spaz. You open the door with a paper towel. You dry and then toss. So that's kind of what I do. So I get another one.
No, I don't do that.
Given the choice of a row of stalls, you'll take the furthest from the door. Furthest from the door? No, I usually kind of do the middle one, I think. That is the germiest.
You're in the most...
No, the germiest is the furthest from the door. If you use the closest stall, that is the cleanest.
The one in the middle is the worst because people don't like to be on the ends.
This here says the one that's closest. I lost track of where we are. If you wash your hands for at least 10 seconds, you under running water. If you wash your hands for at least 10 seconds under running water, minus 3 points. If you wash your hands for at least 20 seconds, plus 3 points. I don't know what that means.
I got minus 3 on that one.
I'm giving up on all of this. If you use hot water while washing your hands, minus 3. Shower after workouts at the gym. And if you wear flip-flops in the shower, plus 3. I don't go to the gym, so I don't know.
Who wears flip-flops to the shower?
If you do not wear shower shoes or flip-flops, minus 3. I'm pretty certain.
Failing this miserably.
I think we're both failing. If you fend off dog kisses and settle for a pat on the head.
No way. I love to kiss dogs.
I don't. I push them away. I think I'm doing better on this than you are, but I have no clue what my score is. If you'd like to know more, I've got this whole darn thing.
That's a ridiculous study.
Yeah, I've got the whole darn thing posted at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always try to wrap things up around here with some good news. Are you ready for some good news, Heidi?
I am ready for some good news.
It is good to know that 2016 has not completely killed all good old American decency. From upstate New York, a couple found almost $10,000 in cash in a shopping cart at Tractor Supply Company. Have you heard about this?
No.
They promptly returned the cash with absolutely no expectation of a reward. There was $9,800 in 20s, 50s, and 100s. They turned it into staff. Then the couple finished their shopping and left without even leaving their names. Store manager Jeff Welch said they're regular customers, but otherwise he doesn't really know them. Monday, the cash's owner, a restaurateur from the area who did not want to be named in the story, called Tractor Supply Company to claim her lost envelope. The woman had been shopping Sunday after work, and she had to leave her windows down because of her dogs being in the car. She didn't want to risk having the envelope, which was, all of their week's cash receipts, getting stolen, so she brought it in. But she forgot that the envelope was in the cart. One of her dogs peed in the car, and she got distracted. Later, she said, I was in awe that anyone in this day and age would turn that kind of money back into us.
That's wonderful.
There you go. That's a really cool story.
That is a wonderful story.
And by the way, if you see really cool stories like this out there and you want us to put them on the program, you can share those at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. And I get that quite often. People share stories there, and then I try to include those and incorporate those in the program. So send it to me as a message, and I'll make sure I get it that way. If you share it right on the page, you can do that too. But I don't always see those. So send it to me in a message so I make sure I get it. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Monday.